Okay, I believe we're recording now. Good morning, everyone. I don't believe we have a quorum, so we don't have to worry about the approval of past meeting minutes at this point. But Susan, right before we started recording, was speaking about some of the development projects, especially in Brookline Village, and how that displaces a lot of the normal parking that is usually happening around Kent Street, Station Street, in that general area. And you specifically mentioned is it 40 Kent Street, that project? I
Yeah,
know I checked with our planning department, or I'm sorry, our regulatory planning, just last week. I believe that project in particular got approved to have no minimum parking, not even like loading zones in front of it. So
nothing.
they're not going to have any dedicated parking. So when it comes to the construction, though, I hear you, and I know that I don't know what Amy has spoken about with you yet, but I know that Amy is also working with our regulatory planning division to try to mitigate a lot of that construction parking issues that we're having. Also, it's important to note that through the Coolidge Corner parking study that came before this, that we did last year, one of the near-term recommendations that we can go on ahead and start implementing is looking at the not the enforcement aspect, but the fees that are charged to those that choose to take on the fee as opposed to just paying the meter. And we heard loud and clear that, if it's $24 to park a day, but it's only $25 to get the ticket, then people will just get the ticket. And so that's one of the things that I know Amy and Dan are working on. And I believe they're going to have to get some of this stuff approved through the transportation board, but they are working on increasing some of those fees to make that more difficult for people to just take that fee. Um, but Amy, I don't want to, steal any of your thunder, and I don't know what you've said yet. So I just wanted to say the stuff that I knew and be able to help Susan out with understanding of what we are doing and then what we're hoping to accomplish too with this study.
Yeah, we do want to change the fines to be, I think they're at 30 right now, but they can go up to 50, I believe. So they actually deter people. But we have to get it passed by the transportation board and the select board anytime we're increasing like the cost of something, the price of something, it has to go to select board. So, but I think people will get it once we explain our rationale, hopefully. So that's one thing. But yeah, for the Kent and Webster development, I'm actually regulatory put me in contact with the developer themselves, and so we're going to be talking and just trying to get out ahead of their needs and come up with a real plan that's not just like don't park locally, and actually give them insight as to where they can park and strategies to carpool or park at like some MBTA station and then take the T in or something, something like that that's actually workable for them and their workers.
Yeah, I know.
I
And
think in
thank you.
Boston, don't they have like a rule that you have to bus your workers in and they have like a lot that they all have to park in or something? I think there's
Not
some
sure.
regulation about that.
Lots of Alish, lots of very urban areas throughout the country. Yes, developers are, they need to pick whatever area and they're responsible for transportation for, and this is their daily workers. I mean, obviously, we have to understand that, if you have whatever, and they need these certain trucks to do their work and the concrete and they're pouring foundations. I mean, but these are like, project that's that big. Yeah. So you're going to have anywhere between, 25 and 35 workers every day that are just working. And they do that. And I believe Boston does do that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
just think,
maybe
I mean,
something when the developer goes to submit plans or something at the initial stage of proposal, that it's built in like, hey, you have in order for this to be approved, you have to provide this.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And so in our construction management plans, we do say, some version of you're not supposed to park on local streets, that, workers are encouraged to take public transportation, but that's it. There's no like actual like plan about what they can really do. And like, some of these people might not be familiar with the area, so they wouldn't even know how to do the transit thing. So like actually coming up with a plan of some kind to help them with some of these bigger developments, I think would be really useful. So
Yeah.
that's
is
what I'm
it,
hoping we can do.
um, I know Boston's really big on towing, and the thought of being towed deters people just from the very thought. Has that ever been an option to think about? Letting these developers know, like, we tow. So if your people are there all day, because multi-billion-dollar projects, they don't even care about a $50 ticket. Like, they want their people there, they want them working. They become very myopic in their thought process, and they're just like, we need to get this job done, and I don't care. Give me your ticket. But the thought of being towed is another story. And I don't know if that's something that has been on the
Yeah.
table, or even signs that say, you will be towed, helps deter people from parking all day.
Yeah, so I don't know the full legality of it, but I'm glad you said the signs because at least for like general, you know, people parking in general in places that they shouldn't, you can't tow unless it says tow zone
Right, exactly.
explicitly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how we would. I don't know if we
I
could put
mean,
something in like the CMP to say like if you do park, if your workers do park, then they can be towed. That would be hard to enforce because we don't really know when we see a truck out there necessarily. If obviously if it has the contractor's name on the company name on the truck, like that's one thing. But sometimes it's just a truck, right? Like it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be associated
right.
with the thing, and so it's hard to actually enforce it that way. So I'm not sure if we could do that kind of selective towing. I'm not sure if that would be
Not
possible.
even selective, but has the town ever just thought about that? Or even just part
We have
of
some
a,
tow zones, yeah.
yeah, like even part of a development plan, like, oh, okay, so you're working on the Pierce School. So for the 2 years that the Pierce School is being worked on, these 3 streets are going to become a tow zone. And it's not just against construction workers. If I park there, I risk getting towed because I agree with you. You can't just say, oh, if you drive a truck, I mean, that's very discriminating.
Mm,
But part of a development plan could possibly be identifying what are vulnerable parking streets in this area of this development. And during that construction, we're going to engage with a towing company, and we're going to put up the appropriate signs, and we're going to let everybody know these 3 streets are a tow zone right now. And if you park in a meter for longer than 3 or whatever, and I don't know. I don't know the answer. I just know that I'm really nervous about this project. I'm trying to be, and I think that the parking study people, are they not joining us today?
No, they were on the initial call to try to
Got it.
help with the kickoff and give the details
Yeah.
of what they will be doing. We have weekly, bi-weekly meetings with them. And
Yeah.
so a lot of this feedback, we're going to go back, let them know what's being said. Um, and again, the big push right now is just to, kind of going back to the agenda, is just making sure that the parking surveys get out so that we can collect this kind of data that we were talking about a lot last time. But you brought up a good point before we even began the meetings, Susan, and that's why I wanted to make sure that we got you some answers, and so that you can understand what we're doing on our end, because Amy does hear a lot of this feedback, and I know she's working on it. Like I said, I checked in with our regulatory planning just last week, and they know about it too, and they're trying to work with it. So it's stuff that we're working on. I hate that it can't be an easy fix, but these are some great ideas, and so that's why I did not want to just skip on
Yeah.
ahead and just go straight to the agenda, because this is definitely something that we can talk about through this parking subcommittee. So
And
this is
maybe with
great
your
feedback.
idea of like a survey, maybe even just, I find that people are genuinely human nature, want to work with people if they're aware. So maybe even just something as simple as a comprehensive um document or survey that we give to the developer, like, how on average, how many workers do you intend on having there on a daily basis, general, where do they plan to park, like, so that it, maybe doing something like that seems really easy and doesn't have to get involved with towing and all of that. But now all of a sudden it opens up the conversation for that developer to think a little broader and to think like, oh, wow, right. I have 30 people coming. This is a really tiny village. And that, or submit, what is your parking plan? Like make them do a little due diligence, make the developer own, this piece of it, because it's really, really big. And I think that they have to go through so much to get their permit to build, and they sit through tons of meetings. And I think that in years past, because we haven't had such large developments, the parking's just been kind of like a quick, like, oh, okay, we'll give you 5 permits or whatever. And maybe developing a pretty specific questionnaire to really find out, what is your plan? What's your plan? Maybe that would work, because it opens up the conversation with the developer to understand that they can't have their people parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
Amy,
one,
what do you think about something like that?
Yeah, I'm writing it down as an idea. I think that's a good idea, and certainly, yeah, I want to help the developers come up with a plan and figure this out. But you're right. The onus really should be on them to. They're the ones who want to do this development, right?
And if we
We want
work
to give them some help, to some
right.
resources.
And if we work together with the developer and like trying to be like this like positive moving forward approach collectively, where that they understand that like they're one piece of the equation. They can't take over the village. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think what they're creating is amazing, and it is going to bring vibrancy, all of that, but like, how can we work together? And I think that in that kind of an approach, they are they want to do what they say they're going to do, because they're part of us instead of like fighting us. Like, I just don't have it in me, and I don't want to fight with parking issues for the next 2 or 3 years when this project is going on. I would much rather be collaborative and like work together. And if there's a day that he actually says, you know what, there are going to be days where we need 20 people. Great. Can you give us notice? Can you let us know? Because then maybe Sarah will open from 3 to 9 that day. And maybe I'll send out my lift and I'll tell people, don't drive, take a lift, And these are the things that I think that I believe the major problems with parking over the past 3 years is largely due to spots being removed and construction taking over. I believe we have enough spots right now. And if everything is like a good day. And so I just think that as a parking study committee, we need to be creative and thinking about ways that we can cherish and keep our parking and protect it when projects are coming in. Because I don't know about you, Sarah, but it's been wonderful. Clients have even said like, I found parking in 10 minutes today. Like, I haven't had any problems and it's freeing. I love it. I'm like, great, So
Yes, it's
I don't
been
know what
great.
anybody else thinks about
I
this.
just want to mention, Susan, like, and you guys are going to probably learn this in the parking study, is that the hours, it's like 9 to 2. That's like the worst.
Right.
That's when everyone's competing to be there. And then after 2, it's like, woo, find your spot. It's there. And so that has been my experience, and I think yours too, Susan.
What's that?
I think it's been your experience too, Susan.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
9
And
to
I
2
don't
is
know.
the worst.
I think a lot of it is that people do, come in and, there is construction. I do think that people just park somewhere in the village and take the T in, because if they drove into Boston, they'd pay $50 to Amy's point to park in a garage. So they park all day, they get a ticket for $25 and they park all day. And I see cars out on Station Street all day because they're taking the train in and they're parking there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's an awesome idea to make the fee much bigger, because I think that right in and of itself will deter people from parking there all day. Compete with the parking garages
Yeah,
price, you know? I mean, I think
exactly.
the fee should exceed a parking garage price, you know?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I'm kind of like that. I'll just get the ticket, you know, wherever. Like, oh, it's only 20 bucks. I'll just get a
Yeah.
ticket, you know?
Yeah. So, like Amy and Dan said, I know that they're trying to get that ready for further approval. So we are working on that. But this is really good feedback. So thank you again, Susan, for bringing this up.
Yeah.
Um, the only other thing on my agenda, unless anybody else has any other business at this point, is the parking studies. They've been released. I've shared it to you all. I've shared it to our Small Business Development Committee. John Van Scoyac, Select Board member, has shared it through his email listserv that he sends out. I've sent it on our business news flash. We're currently working on a social media post to go along, and we're working on a news release. So we're really trying to get the word out. Oh, and I saw it today. The poster kiosk right there on the corner of Station Street and Washington Street. One of those posters is now the 2 surveys,
Right.
so that we can get passersby to take it as well. So I say
Did
all
you
that.
did you get small little postcardy
I
things?
have that ability, so that's what I'm saying. If anybody wants any of that, just let me know. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, and I
definitely.
can bring you some by. If you want to just send me a quick note of how many you're suspecting, otherwise I'll give you, 25, 50, however many you want.
50 would be
And
great for me. Yeah.
how many?
Yeah.
How many, Susan?
50 would be great.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
And
Okay,
for me too, it'd be great.
okay, great. I will
Also,
definitely get that to you. Yeah,
one
what
of the
was that, Alish?
flyer I can put in the window of the restaurant so people can
Yeah,
scan as they walk by.
I can print that off too. Yeah. If you want, just so that I want to make sure that I give you everything you need. If anybody wants any flyers, like what Alish was saying, to post inside, also we have the note cards, the postcards that I can print too. I can do both. So just
Okay.
let me know whatever you
I'll
need.
take oh, I'll email you. Sorry.
Yeah, just email me. Just
Right.
email me so that I make sure I get it right. And then, Sarah, were we able to send that out to all the Brookline Village businesses yet? Have you seen that come across? Do you need me to send anything
Yeah,
else?
so I saw that I'm sorry, Melissa Tapper Goldman or Goldman Tapper, I can never
Mhm.
remember which way it goes. Um, she forwarded it to many of the businesses.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
I'm still working with her actually. We just had a sit down the other day where I
Yeah.
was like, I know you're the business contact here or the small business contact in the village. I have some other emails so that we can add on. And she was
Perfect.
like, I don't know that we can add them on without their consent, because I've collected them throughout
Yeah.
the Complete Streets process. And so she made me a co-editor of that list. I don't know, Susan, are you on that list?
I am.
Okay. So I wasn't.
Oh,
So I've like received my first email from Melissa the other day. And so
oh,
I'm like hoping to help Melissa in
Awesome.
in
that's great.
collecting emails, and we're neighbors and I work in her workspace many times,
Mhm.
so we can just have these passerby conversations. So there's still a few folks that may not be on that list that I
That's
kind of
okay.
ask, do you want to be on this list? Is that okay?
Yeah. And in the meantime, too, feel free to forward it just to that list that's not on the list,
Yeah.
um, just to get the word out. And
Did you
again, if
send it
y'all
to the
need anything
chamber,
else,
Aaron? Did you
yes.
send it to the
Sorry, Alish.
chamber?
Yes.
The chamber did send it out.
Okay.
I received that from the chamber. It
Oh,
was
I
a
didn't get it.
nice,
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
Chris Muddy did a nice like parking study. It was well done.
So
Okay.
the chamber, and then I don't think it's been released yet, but the July Town Administrators newsletter will have it in it too. And if not that one, the August one, or both. And then Ailish, I was going to ask you next. Have you had a chance to share it with the Washington Square businesses that you have contact info
I
for?
have, yes. But
Perfect.
I would
Perfect.
like to go around with flyers and hand it to them too, so there's
So
no
I can
excuse
get you
for them
that.
not to do it.
Yep. I can get you that. So Ailish, and just like what everybody else
Yeah,
is doing, if you email me however many you need,
sure.
I can supply you with that.
And also for customers, I could just hand them like
Yep.
say, hey, please. take part in this, you know.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, good deal. All right, so we are getting the word out.
Yeah.
Posters are up. Social media is being created. News is being published. All right, good deal.
All good.
Let's see here. So, with that being said, I mean, at this point, it's just trying to get as many responses as possible. Does anybody else have any other business? We can get back 30 minutes out of our day today.
Woohoo.
Okay, awesome. Well, everybody stay cool out there. Don't forget to send me an email so that I can get you what you need. Also, as you're passing them out, if anybody else wants additional flyers, additional postcards, if anybody else that you speak to wants to help in this endeavor, just let me know. Again, I can print as many as possible, as many as we need. The main goal is getting the word out. So whatever we need to do, you just let me know.
Do you, real quick, Aaron, do you guys plan to like go to different businesses, like, or like
It's
the swim shop and like the puppet show place, or should we do that?
It's
Like,
funny that you mentioned that
yeah,
because I was hoping that as you get the word out, and sometimes, as you can imagine, you have better relationships with some of your neighboring businesses, just like Sarah was saying that she shares
right.
space with the Village Works all the time. If you do that, just let me know who you've contacted,
Okay.
because this month is actually the month that Jessica and I are planning to do our storefront survey, where we go along and we take an inventory on the vacant and occupied storefronts in the commercial areas. So we were going to try to double it up, but again, it helps knowing who hasn't been gone to, who needs some extra love, if you will. So yeah, just let me know whoever you go to, because that would help, in the effort,
Okay.
and that way we don't walk over each other's tracks either. Sarah, I see your hand up. Sorry.
Oh no, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, I know. Um, so many of my customers and just passerby friends are the direct neighborhood, like folks who live on White Place and Davis.
Hmm.
Um, and they're really energetic and wanting to be involved and wanting to keep the village vibrant. Should I pass to them too? Like, I don't want
Please.
to overstep,
Yes.
Like I want to.
No, 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 no. You're not at all. Not at all, Sarah. This is for the
Yeah.
entire commercial area, and I believe some of those side streets are in it as well. Amy and Dan can help me out because I haven't studied the study area in great detail, but it means the whole commercial area neighborhood. So if, especially even if it's people that you're mentioning that live nearby, but that always shop and that go through Brookline Village all the time, that's who we want to hear from. So and again, we're sending it out town wide for that matter too. So. Yes, no, that would help. That would help.
Yeah, I think I have relationships with some of them who, news can get by, they forget, and I just don't know how hard. I don't want to burden people, but I also want them to know that it's really critical that we get this data because it's going to impact the vibrancy of their neighborhood. I mean, this is where they live. So,
Right. Right.
like there's a big building two doors down from me with residents like that are renters. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
going to get
no,
information.
every little bit helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Thank you for thinking of that too.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, does anybody else have anything?
I was going to say White Place is included in the city area.
See?
Yeah,
Perfect.
a lot of the side streets are.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. Well, again, those of you, if you don't mind, I'm just going to reiterate it. Email me what you need. Feel free to go ham on it. I can get you whatever you need. And we will get that into your hands as soon as possible. And yeah, I'm gonna schedule the next meeting. Like we said, this time does work for most. However, again, like today, we didn't really have a quorum, so we couldn't really vote on anything, but it was just past meeting minutes. It's okay. Um, we will look at what we said in the past was the third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. But I will get with you, Ailish, and see if that time needs to be maybe adjusted a little bit, or if we can start getting people to that time if they know more in advance. So I will get with you on that, Ailish. But if everyone else will send me an email with what you need, I will get that to you.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, everyone,
Great.
have a good day. Thank you
Yeah,
so
you
much.
too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all.